The zestiest zester in Honkai Star Rail is here, boys, Mr. Aventurine. I hear that he has one of the hardest boss fights in Honkai Star Rail to date. Too bad I haven't even done it yet. But they let us play with Aventurine so we could see what he does, though those scoundrels took out the numbers so we don't know his actual scalings like we did with Dr. Ratio when he was playable. But that's fine because we're going to be talking about everything that you need for Aventurine before he actually releases, as far as what his best in slot relics are, what his best light cones are there free-to-play options? What teams does he reign on, and a little kit breakdown. So let's start off first with a little kit breakdown. And in the background here, you will see a lot of footage of just Aventurine, just doing Aventurine things, all right? Just beating stuff in the game, okay? So we have some gameplay here, and that's going to be the best way to really see what Aventurine can do. And I strongly advise you, if you're not new to the game and you've already made it to the 2.1 story, go ahead and play it. If you really want to pull Aventurine, you'll get a good grasp on what he does. You can change the teams around him to see if the team you actually want to use for him will actually work for him. So take use of this and actually see if it's something that you like, or he's a character you actually like. So let's start off with his kit breakdown first. His basic attack is very basic. It doesn't do anything at all, so we're gonna skip that completely. Everything really revolves around the talent, so let's talk about the talent first. So the talent here, guys, is going to be giving a 5% effect res to anyone that has the fortified wager buff on them. You get this from the skill right here. The skill basically puts a fortified wager buff on all of your allies, so it provides a shield to all your allies. It's also stackable. But hopping back into the talent now, not only does it give all of your allies a 5% effect resistance, it also gives Aventurine himself CC prevention whenever he has a shield up. So that means he can never be CC'd, so you really don't need to build any effect resistance into him at all, just because he already has a CC prevention in his kit. Not only this, what it also does is give you blind bet points. What are blind bet points? Whenever you get attacked, you get these stacks. Also, whenever you use your ultimate, you'll be getting these stacks as well. But what else does the ultimate do? It targets one enemy, attacks them, puts this debuff on the enemy, which is absolutely great for Acheron. Not only that, it increases the amount of crit damage you can do to this enemy, which is inherently just a crit damage boost. Think of it like Fu Xuan, but not Fu Xuan, because she gives crit rate, he gives crit damage on a specific enemy. It's more like Topaz with her light cone, and it'll be giving you a random amount of these blind bet points. Whenever you reach 7 of these points, you'll be hitting a follow-up attack on the enemy, which can bounce up to 7 times. So think of it like Astas, right? If there's only one enemy on the field, that one enemy is going to get hit 7 times from his ability. Not only this, this is whenever anyone with a shield gets hit, right? So say someone does an AoE attack, like the fish, right? This little fish guy right here, say he does an AoE attack, you'll be getting at least 4 stacks for this blind bet. So anyone that does AoE attacks, he's going to be super strong in those scenarios. But with this little kit breakdown out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about all the materials he's going to need. Then we'll hop into all the fun stuff, because I'm sure you want to know about relics, light cones, and what teams does it even work on. Let me go ahead and pee poof off the screen and show you all the materials now. Take a screenshot. These are the materials you're going to need. This is everything you need to max traces, everything for your Mr. Aventurine. So with that out of the way, if you've made it to this point in the video and you like what you see so far, hit that subscribe button. This many of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so please subscribe so you can get copium content like this. And as a little added bonus, in a couple days, you'll even get every negative with Aventurine. So if you were on the fence about pulling for Aventurine, I'll be making a video on everything wrong with him. So go ahead and subscribe. I stepped on my key light. Anyways, let's get back to the video and talk about these light cones now. So obviously, guys, his best in-slot light cone is going to be his signature light cone, all right? Now, we cannot talk about what his signature light cone does, okay? At least I didn't see it in the game. Maybe I'm copium and just overlooked it, but his signature light cone is going to be the best. Okay, this one right here, this is going to be the best. But there are a lot of options for him, actually. So we're going to go over all these options right now. So I think it's going to change depending on what team you have him on. If you have him on an Acheron team, you want to get debuffs off, right? You want as many debuffs as possible, because his ult gives a debuff, right? But that's really the only debuff he's able to provide. So with this being said, I would personally recommend the Trends of Universal Marker Light Cone. Oh, wow. I'm still recommending this light cone because it gives a free debuff. It's the only thing in the game, or only light cone, preservation light cone in the game, that gives a debuff from being hit, right? So he has a higher aggro rate. Obviously, it's a chance that he gets hit, but this will give a free debuff. So easy clap there. Run this light cone. Obviously, it's not the only light cone you run. There's a really good free-to-play option light cone. We might even be getting one in 2.2. Ooh, I don't know, maybe a free light cone. But this right here, use this battle pass light cone. This battle pass light cone is gonna be absolutely amazing because basically this gives you defense and damage, okay? And really, realistically, he's the only preservation character that can do a decent amount of damage, right? So yeah, he could be like a little sub DPS, if you know what I mean. So run this battle pass light cone if you have it. And then finally, the new Memory of Chaos light cone. This light cone is gonna be giving you effect rise and a damage bonus that's proportional to your defense. Now, I know what you're probably going to say, but he already has CC prevention. Why does he need this? He can still take dots. He can still take whatever. Having this right here with the buff on himself, right? He will be so close to 100% effect res. Not only you're not having to worry about any CC prevention, no dots or anything either, right? So he is the definition of a sustained character. He can sustain the dots by not even having them applied to him at all. So those are the light cones that I recommend. Now, let's hop into the relics now, because the relics, honestly, there's not really many options to choose between, and we'll get into why that is in a second here. So let's hop into our relics now. Starting off with his best in slot, Knights of the Purity Palace. Why? Because it gives defense, and what does he do? His damage scales off of defense, his shield scale off of everything scales off of defense. So at least a 2-piece will give him defense, and at a 4-piece, guys, is going to increase the max damage that the shields can take by an extra 20%, which really does help out. You might not think it does, but it does help out in his skill point efficiency, because this is a potential problem you could have if his shields are not strong enough, which I think they will be. He is going to be an SP menace at having to keep refreshing the shield. So maybe if you're an early game player, this could be a better set. Now, I will say this set is kind of copium to farm, because you're having to farm a lightning set, and who the hell are you using lightning set on? This is why I said I think we need a new defensive set in the game that scales off of defense or something like that, right? Because we don't have that at all. So having another defense set would be really, really super nice. I hear a lot of people saying they're going to be running their DPS Aventurine, which go for it, I guess. I'm going to be running mine pure defensively, because that's the easiest way I think is going to be to run them. I'm not going for all the stats. I don't really care that much. Another set you could run, a little wonky set, 2-piece set, it would be a 2-piece Pioneer set and a 2-piece defense set, because if the enemy is debuffed, or if you put a debuff on the enemy, you will be getting increased damage, or debuffed enemies get increased damage plus your extra defense, which makes them more DPS efficient. This is another set that is very recommendable, right? If your shields are doing a-okay, run this set. You get more DPS out of them. I think you'll be having a fun time with that. Now, let's hop into these planner sets now. Now, originally, I thought, let's just run Bellabugger the Architect, but let's be honest, that set is absolute AIDS to the farm. We do not want to farm the Bellabugger the Architects, right? While I think it could be beneficial for him, you need a lot of effect hit rate. What is he using effect hit rate for? I guess the debuff he puts off with his ultimate, maybe. So, okay, maybe, I guess. If you're running Trends of Universal Market, then maybe you want effect hit rate to guarantee the stacks off with it. But overall, I don't think this is the best in slot. I think Broken Keel is the best in slot. Why? He gives a crit damage bonus to the whole team. He is already going to have so much effect res on him. He guarantees gets this crit rate buff off as long as shields are up on him and your allies. So these is just going to be the best in slot that I can say. Some people probably might run Glameth here to get an extra damage bonus off. I probably am just going to run Broken Keel on mine. So do what you want to do at the end of the day as far as like how you want to run him. But let's talk about these stats now, because stats are super important for a character. I always say subs and stats over stats. Sets are dog shit. We don't have to worry about them. You could literally run every character in the game rainbow and clear all the content. That's what I do. That's what you can do too. And don't let content creators tell you that that's not the case, because it definitely is. If you have a banger piece of gear, run that gear over a set. I guarantee you, for the most part, it'll be better, right? Unless it's a pretty close competition with like a quantum set or even the Pioneer set, right? Then you could maybe swap off some subs for the set. But overall, running a rainbow set could be better for you as long as you have better stats on those rainbow sets. So with my little rant out of the way there, let's go ahead and talk about these stats. On the boots, gamers, we're gonna be running speed. Speed, he just want to be as fast as possible so he can generate SP, get his ult back up, everything like that. So speed on the boots. For the body, defense. Yes, defense on the body. You want him to be as tanky as possible. You want his shields to be as strong as possible. You want his damage scalings to be as much as possible. Now, for the rope of the sphere, could be different here. I am going to recommend ERR rope and the defense sphere, right? I want him to be as tanky as possible. I want him to push through all the content in the game. I will say, some people will say, probably swap out the rope for a defense rope and then swap out the orb for an imaginary damage orb so he can be more DPS conscious. I don't like this too much. I just want mine to be just a full tank. I don't really care about the extra damage he does that much, because I'm able to clear the content in the game. But if you want the extra damage, this could be something you could run here. Though ERR rope, I think, will help as far as like getting his ult up faster. I like running ERR rope on as many characters as I can just because I like ult efficiency. And then hopping into those substats, literally on the substats, if you're running just a preservation, tanky Aventurine, speed, defense, and you can get HP percentage, but the main two stats, speed, defense. That's realistically all you need. Now, with having so many free slots available, you can go speed, HP, crit rate, crit damage. You could literally slot in crit rate. You could use these dog shit crit rate, crit damage pieces on him. Because if they roll, oh, they roll defense. They don't have the stats I want. We'll throw it on Aventurine then. Because I think he'll be able to take use of these very, very good. He has so many free slots available, especially because he doesn't really need much effect resistance because he already gives himself so much. They really don't need to farm effect resistance too much. But these are the stats that I recommend as far as subs go. They will probably help you too. Now, what teams could Mr. Aventurine be run on, right? And I did some testing, obviously, as you can see right here, on a couple different teams. He can be ran on follow-up teams with Topaz. He can be ran on follow-up teams with Dr. Ratio. Because why? You could run him on Penacony, give Dr. Ratio a buff. You get Dr. Ratio for free. This is just another unit that can help Dr. Ratio be good for your account, though it doesn't alleviate the crit rate issues that he has. So you still need to build your Dr. Ratio pretty well. But anyways, that's besides the point. He can help Dr. Ratio out. That's what I'm trying to say here. Another team he can work with, Acheron teams. Why can he work on Acheron teams? I think that's pretty self-explanatory why he could work on Acheron teams. He gives debuffs. He's a preservation unit as well, so you can run Trends of Universal Market, which equals more debuffs. And you're gonna have a really great time with an Acheron team. I was clearing literally so fast with this team that I had to swap off to a follow-up team and then also reduce their relics. So I could actually get enough footage for this video, okay? I had to stop using that team because it was so cracked. And then finally, just crit-based teams in general, right? Jingliu, she doesn't need much crit rate, so you could run him on the team. This is gonna be a best in slot for Jingliu, in my opinion, because he does give crit damage buff or extra crit damage to her, so she's able to hit a higher damage. Like Hua Hua is kind of nice, but Hua Hua she gets extra energy, right? But she gives attack bonus, which I don't think Jingliu really needs that much of because she already has so much of it. Crit damage bonus here will be really nice for your Jingliu. You'll boost her damage even more than it already has been boosted. Also, like I said, it works for Miss Acheron as well, but you do need more crit rate with her kit, so it could be okay. But yeah, these are the main teams you could run him on. Realistically, guys, I'm just stating the best teams you can run him on. You can run him on any team. He is a sustained character. He is a staple unit that can be put on any team, right? For me, I put my Fu Xuan on every team. Dot team, Fu Xuan. Follow-up team, Fu Xuan. Team that doesn't even need crit rate, Fu Xuan. Okay, I put Fu Xuan on everything just because I like using Fu Xuan and she gives a lot of comfortability. He's gonna do the same thing. He provides a lot of comfortability. You're never gonna really have to worry about dying with him on the team. So yeah, just put him on any team you really want, okay? Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm gonna come to your house, exclamation mark, parentheses, come. In your house, yes, in your closet probably. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it. I have my Yon King t-shirt on, so you know what that means. These summons are gonna be amazing. Thank you, Nick A30. Bye-bye.